Hey everyone, Pastor Marissa here, and welcome back to our series called The Weird Stuff. Now, we've been going through this series because there's some weird stuff in the Bible. If you've ever read through it, you know what I mean. Talking snakes, a guy living inside of a fish, people having dreams of beasts with multiple heads and horns. Honestly, what even is that? And sometimes people read those parts and go, that's too strange. I don't get it. But here's the deal. God didn't waste words. If it's in scripture, it's in there on purpose. Even the stuff that seems weird at first has something powerful to show us. That's why we're doing this series, because sometimes the weird stuff is exactly what we need to understand God better. Reading the weird stuff helps us have a deeper understanding of who God is and have a deeper understanding and a deeper relationship with Him. Think about it. When a friend does something that seems a little bit weird to you, do you run away from them or do you question them? Most of the time we question them. Why? Because we want to know their thought process. We want to know more about them. So rather than running away from the weird stuff in the Bible, we read it, we embrace it, we understand what it's trying to say about God, ourselves, and everything in between. So let's jump into one of the weirdest and most talked about topics in the Bible, the end of the world. I know, nothing too crazy, but hear me out. People have always been fascinated by the idea of the world ending and when it will happen. It feels like every month there's a new movie, a new series about the world ending. From asteroids to robots to Sharknadoes, people are constantly talking and thinking about what the end of the world will look like. And it's not just the movies, but even people on TikTok and YouTube are constantly making predictions. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a video saying something like, the world is ending next week. Yeah, they blow up on social media. Why? Because they cause and they make people panic. Just last month, there was a huge trend about the rapture. Maybe you saw it. People were posting, Jesus is coming back in September. I had a dream about it. Or on September 23rd, the world is going to end and Jesus is coming back. And some people really believed it. I saw stories about people selling their cars, quitting their jobs, giving away their stuff, preparing to ascend into heaven, all because they thought it was really over. That panic, it came from a lack of knowledge. They didn't really know any better. Why wouldn't they listen to the man on the street corner or a Mayan calendar or some random guy on TikTok? But the truth is, the Bible does talk about what the end looks like. While majority of scripture talks about God and how we should treat each other and what we do on this earth and who Jesus was, there is scripture that also talks about God's plan for the end of things. So what does the Bible say? First thing you need to know, God has a plan and God's plan is good. Most of the end times conversations come from passages in the book of Revelation, which does spend a lot of time talking about the visions that God gives the book's author, John. When people read Revelation, they often focus on the scary parts, wars, plagues, battles, beasts. And yeah, those images are intense. Now, there's conversations all the time talking about if those are supposed to be metaphors or things that will actually happen in the near future and what those visions represent. But to be honest, if you only look at that, you miss the big picture. The main story of Revelation isn't destruction, it's restoration. Revelation 21 verse 1-4 says this, Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. They will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. That's the heart of the story. The ending isn't a nuclear explosion. It's God making everything new. Think about it. No more funerals, no more goodbyes, no more breakups, no more anxiety or depression weighing people down, no more bullying, no more cancer, no more violence. That's what God is working towards. That's the ending of the story. So when we hear the end of the world, we don't need to panic. We can actually have hope because God's ending is actually the beginning of something even better. Here's the second truth. Nobody knows when Jesus will return. Nobody at all. Revelation 22 verse 12 to 13 says this, "Behold, I am coming soon. My reward is with me. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." Notice what Jesus doesn't say. He doesn't give us a calendar date. He doesn't tell us the hour or the minute. And in Matthew chapter 24, verse 36, he's even clear. No one knows the day or the hour, not even the angels in heaven, not even the Son, only the Father, only God. And at first, that might feel a little bit scary. Not knowing can be uncomfortable. But here's the hopeful part. Because we don't know when, every day is an opportunity. Every day is a chance to love, to serve, to grow, and to live faithfully. Imagine if your teacher told your class, "There's a surprise quiz coming soon." Some might panic, but the wise students, they stay ready, they pay attention, they do their work, and enjoy the learning along the way. That's exactly what Jesus wants from us. He wants us to be wise. He wants us to use our discernment. He wants us to enjoy learning about Him while we are here on earth. The unknown isn't something to fear. It's something to trust Him in, knowing that He is faithful and good. So anytime someone posts, "The end is near," you can smile and say, "I don't know when, but I do know my life is in God's hands. Today I can love, I can serve, and I can make a difference here on earth." The unknown isn't empty. It's full of God's promise. And that's more exciting than any date or prediction could ever be. Which leads us to our final point. This world still matters. Sometimes Christians get so obsessed with the end times prophecies that they stop caring about the present. They stop caring about the world. They'll say things like, "Well, the world's going to end anyway, so who cares?" But Jesus never gave us permission to check out of life. In fact, He gave us the opposite. He said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself." That means this life, this world, this community, it all matters. Think about it. If God didn't care about the present, why would Jesus spend so much time healing people, feeding people, forgiving people? He was bringing glimpses of heaven to earth. And that's what we're called to do too. Every time you forgive someone, instead of holding a grudge, you're showing a little glimpse of heaven. Every time you stand up for someone who's being left out, you're showing a glimpse of heaven. Every time you serve someone in need, you are showing a glimpse of heaven. Yes, Jesus is coming back. Yes, this world won't last forever. But until that day, God has given us this mission to love people well and bring His goodness here and now. So don't get distracted by endless YouTube rabbit holes, endless TikTok rabbit holes about the end times. Focus on what God has called you to do today. The weird stuff in the Bible isn't there to scare us. It's there to remind us that the story is in God's hands, and His story ends not with fear, but with hope. So here's my challenge. Next time you see a video or hear a rumor that the world is ending, don't panic. Instead, ask yourself, how can I live faithfully today? How can I bring a glimpse of heaven into my school, my family, or my friendships? Because here's the truth, the end isn't really the end. It's the beginning of something new and beautiful with God. So as you guys head into your groups, I hope that you find encouragement in knowing that we serve a good God who has good plans for you and me.